Okay, I have 5 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is the Board of Works and Safety for Tuesday, 7/15/25. Would the clerk please call roll?
Mr. Gaylor?
Present.
Mr. Smart?
Present.
Mayor Grant?
Present.
No attorneys present, Mayor?
Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from 6/17?
No, July 1st. Did I put 6/17?
It's probably me.
Okay. It's the
From
minutes.
July 1st. I'm sorry. I never got that changed. From 7/1.
I wasn't here, but if you want to.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And where were you, Andy?
Yeah.
Vacationing.
Yes.
We do have one citizen's petition. I brought it along. It's from a gentleman who couldn't be here tonight. He works at Subaru. And apparently there was a snafu with his water payment. He had gotten online and it gave him the green light. Looked like it had been paid. And he said that as it turns out, it was not. When he called in, you can correct me if you want, Joanne, he called in and made a payment, but the payment did not include his $75 reconnect fee from the previous time. So he got another $75 reconnect fee is what it amounted to.
That's usually not how it works.
Well,
If somebody's disconnected.
he ended up with another $75 reconnect fee, and he's asking that to be waived. The water was never actually shut off, but the payment was late because of the fact that he had called in and made the payment, but he never paid enough.
Well, and that would be correct. I mean, the $75 reconnect fee was for failing to make the payment timely in May, and then he failed to make the payment timely again in July.
And
So-
it was the July one that he had called in here,
Right.
and he made a payment, but he didn't make enough of a payment
Right.
because he
He didn't know that there was a $75 reconnect fee. The
No.
$75 reconnect fee, according to the ordinance, council ordinance, is that if the payments are due for disconnect by the 10th of the month, and they actually have until 8 a.m. on the 11th, or if the 10th is on a Friday, until Monday, to have that payment to us. When Mickey and Nancy get in the office, they update all the payments, the online payments, they input all the manual, payments dropped off, and then everyone whose payment was not received by 8 a.m. when the office opened gets a $75 reconnect fee. The ordinance doesn't allow, like this past month for July, the 10th was on a Thursday, so payments had to be received by 8 a.m. Friday morning. However, the ordinance states that we will not physically disconnect water on a Friday, but the payment, the $75 fee, is still added to the account, but the water would not have physically been disconnected until Monday. So it's just for failure to pay the payment timely. But you're stating he's basically asking that the $75 reconnect fee that was applied to the account for failing to pay it timely be waived.
That's what he's asking for. Yeah.
So I guess my question is, theoretically, if we didn't disconnect, theoretically, should we charge?
Yes, the ordinance, that's what the
Or it
ordinance
says we
says.
should.
The ordinance says that the
Yeah.
$75
Okay.
will be charged regardless, because you
Okay,
can ask Eric, his city guys can't
Yeah.
always get out
No, that's
and
fine.
disconnect, but
and is this guy having a spell of bad luck, or is this a pattern of
well,
late
I don't
payments?
know. I mean,
I talked to him, Nancy talked to him, and I just got the impression that he had been late on a payment back in, what'd you say, May?
mhm.
And when he went to, and that was because when he went to pay, he thought that he paid it online, and he said it looked like he had paid and it really didn't go through. And he thought he was good, and he wasn't. So he got a disconnect then and paid that one, or tried to pay that one. And
You can look at the history.
when
That only goes back to January this year, though.
when he called in to make the payment, he was trying to get caught up, and he was not aware that he still owed a $75 fee on top of what he paid. So
Thus,
he
the
ended
other
up with another one.
$75 fee.
Yeah, so he ended up with a second one.
Well, that's not accurate. That may be what he told you, but those two incidences came about over a span of 3 months. So he's not going to receive a second $75 payment or reconnect fee for the same missed payment. It happened twice to him in a 3-month period because twice he didn't pay timely, according to that.
Okay.
But you're only going to get one $75 reconnect fee per failure to pay timely by the
Right.
disconnect.
Well, he had
So
one
he
for
maybe
May,
get
then he had
sued.
another one in July, right?
Right, but he would have had to have paid the one for May to have his water, to continue to have water. He could have not have failed to pay that.
Okay.
Now, can you pay right through the city app?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is that electronic?
It is, but the $75 would not have shown up until after Nancy applied it,
Right.
which would have been after 8 a.m. on the 11th. So if he paid it at 8:10 on the 11th, that $75 isn't going to show up. It's just going to show the
Right.
past due amount.
What I'm saying is like some of the online bill pays actually get dropped in the mail. But some
Oh,
of
no,
those-
this is online. This is
This
not
is
a
a-
bill pay service.
Okay, so this is an electronic
Yes,
payment.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Sometimes that can get delayed if it's a check.
And we've
No,
had, yeah,
no, this
that's,
isn't an
Okay.
online, this isn't a third party. It
Okay.
is a third party, but it
it's an
comes
online
directly,
payment, yeah.
comes directly here.
Well, I mean, I guess.
And everybody is charged a $75 reconnect fee. That's just what the ordinance states.
It seems like he's having a rough couple of weeks. It looks like before that he was pretty consistent, but I just don't know the history. I wish there was,
I don't
wish
know,
there was a longer history we could look at, but anyway.
did you just
What do
ask
you
for
think?
January forward, or is
Yeah,
that
that's just what Nancy
what
gave me.
Nancy gave you?
Yeah, I think, I'm okay with giving them a break. We'll just say, hey, just, you have to make.
But it really didn't cost us anything.
No,
You know,
but
nobody went out and shut his water off or anything. It wasn't like it was a costly.
But just tell him he has to get this, squared around where he's not late on his payment, because this is kind of a
I was trying to
one-time
see-
deal.
I was trying to
We'll
see
give
when
you
the-
the benefit of the doubt here.
I was trying to see when the payment was made, and it looks like a payment was made yesterday.
Yeah, he talked to Nancy yesterday on the phone.
So the water
that's
may,
when she
the water
put-
may have been disconnected.
That's
'cause
when
they-
she printed that, and
Yeah.
brought it to me.
Yeah,
And then
the
I
wa-
called him back.
The water would have been well, depending on when she made, it doesn't say on here what time the payment was made, but Eric had the guys out first thing in the morning doing disconnects, and this was printed at 1 PM, so his
Yeah.
water probably was disconnected and probably had to be turned back on, would be my guess.
So we're gonna waive that. We have a motion to do that.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion.
Have a
I'll
motion, and a
second.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Department heads, Mr. Swank.
Update on the reservoir, it is erected, it's full of water. Looks like Thursday is going to be the day that the programmers will be here along with BL Anderson to put it back online. So hopefully no glitches, everything goes well.
Real quick question, I don't know if this got brought up, any progress on the Bradburys? Those, the house, the 2-story house,
No update for that yet.
okay,
They're still there.
and then the grass is
They're
still
still
high.
there.
We did go mow.
Yeah.
It's just high now, but it's
I
all
know.
We mowed it.
Okay.
Just a little bit while back.
Okay,
We're until all the details with the attorney and change of ownership have all taken place. We've got several
Oh,
properties.
so there is change of ownership?
From what I'm seeing, it looks like on Beacon, it looks like that Vinod Gupta has purchased 2 of those 3 problem properties. It looks like the one is still in Kenny Bradbury's name. I know the last deal that they had, Kenny was having all of his mail sent to a PO box. So we're trying to locate residency of that to where.
Well, you think that'd be public knowledge, you think he'd still be on probation or parole or something. Who
I'm
knows?
not for sure. I heard the other day that he was possibly living down there on, maybe on 6th Street,
Heard that.
5th or 6th. So I'll get with Garrett and see if he can kind of verify where he's living at, and then we'll talk with Mallory more about it on pursuing Vinod, because I know the other day when I looked, it looks like it's been recorded now to where maybe he's bought the 2 properties on tax sale or something. I'm not.
Okay.
It had a business entity name to it, like maybe Happy LLC or Hoppy LLC or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure when you go through all the fine details, I'm pretty sure it's either Vinod Gupta or it's his brother that.
Some kind of shell deal,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
So it'll be in some kind of LLC, and as soon as they get the letter, they'll switch the name and we'll
Yeah,
be back
play the
to
game. We'll play
square
the game.
one. So we need to have Mallory and Jeff.
we might have to do like we did down here next to me, we might have just to put the checkmate on it.
Yeah,
You know, if they keep doing the shuffle, because they will,
Oh, yeah.
they do the shuffle and they keep you where you can never pin them down. One last thing is on the women's shelter on South Perry. Are they going to try to refurbish that or rebuild that,
I've got
restore
a
that?
message out to Cody Akers because I know that when the place burned, Cody had reached out to me about 3 weeks later and asked me what he needed to do permit wise, because their insurance was wanting to essentially rebuild the 2nd story. So he wanted to know if he had to have a building permit, and I asked him if he was adding square footage or just gutting and renovating. Said he was gutting and renovating. So they were battling it out at that time with the insurance on what direction everything was gonna go. He's the only person that I know of right now that, you know, kind of has the poker in the fire on that situation. Who's the woman that runs that now? Do you-
Barnett, I think is her name. What's her
Mhm.
name, Larry?
Yeah, it's
Jocelyn's mom?
It's Jocelyn's mom, but I can't think of her name. Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody has any contact information.
Misty.
for that
Misty,
woman,
that's it.
If you guys can do something.
I would reach out to Jerry Badgley because it's still run by the church.
Well,
It's run
Jerry's
by-
on the board. It's not really run by the
Well,
church, but he's on that board.
And then another to that other building to the west. I know that's been full of mold forever.
Which building?
The one next to
Nearest
me.
the alley
Yes.
towards her.
The one that was.
And I was wondering, is there any way you could inspect that and say, you know, this hasn't been used, it's full of mold, what are you gonna do with this?
And they're still
I
using
mean,
that for
that needs-
storage. They're
that's-
using that for storage.
That's not right. I mean,
And
it's full.
that conversation has happened because what they were originally doing before that place built, they were dealing with me on a parking space and what they were going to do with that building. And at that time, what they were asking for is to see if all members of our entity would allow them to basically turn that into living quarters. And then they were gonna do a renovation on it. So I'm sure the balls just dropped on everything they were gonna do previously, construction wise, until they figure out whether they go to a different location permanently or rebuild that one. But yeah, whoever's running it, you say, what's her name, Misty?
Misty Barnett.
Yeah, if there's a way that somebody can give me a number, I'll be more than happy to give her a call tomorrow and,
I've got her number.
okay. And I'll try to find out what's
Okay.
going on with it.
Thank you.
I did send a note off to Garrett this morning in reference to the property out there on Monroe and 41. The one that you went out and helped clean up here a couple of years
Yeah,
ago.
I talked to Eric about that yesterday, didn't I?
Yeah,
And I want to make sure it's on his radar. I know he sent out a bunch of notices, but I want to make sure that was one of them. I've heard a lot of comments regarding that property as of late.
Is that the one that had no windows in it?
Yeah,
Yeah, the one that we,
We didn't put windows in.
he, the guy's elderly, not sure that he doesn't, potentially have dementia or something of that stage. I know because been trying to get a hold of him. I've went to that house multiple times and you can't get anybody down the door. And it was the same way the last time. Just give you a short story of it. So I told my employees, I said, go up there, clear cut stuff so that it's not overgrown and that retaining wall is cleared so people can see around there. So you'll see probably action that has happened there, and it's not the homeowner. It was us just in the meantime while everything's in place.
but that wasn't recently, was it?
That's a conversation I just had with my employees.
Oh, okay, because you've done that before.
Yes, we did that last year.
Okay, I was gonna say, you did this like a year or two
Yep.
ago. Okay, thank you. Chief Little is on a run. Chief Miller is on a run. And we don't have anything from HWC tonight. Utility credits,
Learning.
I didn't see any.
none,
Learn any.
okay. Payroll,
Everything looked good, Joanna?
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
I'll second.
have a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry. Who made the motion?
I did.
Thank you. I was still writing not present on the two other department
Get one
heads.
of my pens to write here. There's that.
You like all my sign here stickies?
I like it, yes, thank you.
No
No
disconnect.
disconnects.
No disconnects. So claims,
Has everybody had
Or
a chance to look at claims?
payroll, or accounts payable vouchers, for lack of a better term.
Has everybody had a chance to look at claims?
I did, I looked at those.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
I'll second.
A motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Did you want to, we need to do anything official on this or?
We can talk about it, yes. I kind of already talked about this a little bit with Andy when he came in, but I've been working with a company called Joink, who is putting fiber optic in Williamsport, Warren County area. They're out of Terre Haute. They've got a lot of customers in southern Indiana. Of course, we don't really regulate who comes and puts fiber in Attica. It's kind of an open thing with the state. So it's competitive, I guess you could say. But Joink is coming across the river on the Wabash River Bridge, and they would like to put a small concrete pad down near where the tower's at, that we lease out, the tower lease. They want to put a natural gas generator, a small one there, to back up their system, because they're concerned about, if the power outage comes, we won't have internet. And I don't know that anybody else has that. I don't know of any generators that Spectrum or anybody has, at least within the city. In return for that, they are offering 1 gig service to all 3 of our building locations for the city within Attica. I looked on their website for a business. 1 gig service is about $1,000 a month. We're currently paying Comcast roughly $800 a month for our internet service. So we would eliminate that altogether in return for allowing them to put that there. So it's about a $10,000 a year savings to the city.
I think that's wonderful. I do think we probably need to get with Judd.
I've already
Yeah,
sent this off to
Okay,
Judd.
and just get
and-
something on designating the easement. Do they need to be bonded if they were not, if they go out of service and to tear that down and remove whatever has to be removed?
Yeah, that was
Those
Judd's
type of-
first
yeah.
suggestion, was to make sure we had this, that showed what their deliverable was. They did send an exhibit that I think I shared at the last meeting about where they wanted to put this, and Judd came back and said that we should make sure that they tear it out if they go belly up, and we're not stuck with a pad down there, although it might make a nice basketball court. I don't know.
There you go.
Small basketball
Yeah.
court. But these people are willing to build out the entire city, where Spectrum, some of these others, they wanted to pick and choose where they were going to go, and obviously not cover the entire city. We've got additions like up where you guys live that aren't covered and probably wouldn't be for years otherwise. It kind of blows me away that just maybe 5 years ago, Dwayne was talking with other companies about bringing fiber to town, and they wanted us to give them hundreds of thousands of dollars
Yes.
to build out in town, and now that's kind of changed where they're offering it up for free. So I think it's a good deal. So just want everybody to know that I'm looking at pursuing that and pending Judd's okey dokey on the legal side of it. I'd like to move forward with it.
Yep.
There's no cost to the city, so it's a positive.
I see it as 1, 2. I don't know if we need to make a motion, but I agree with you. I think it cuts our cost. I think it makes sense. I think they're going to be try to hit everybody instead of hitting the bulk people, the convenient, the high dollar locations.
So is that a motion?
I'll make a motion that we
I'll
approve.
second.
approve this
A
choice.
motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Judd already has the documents, so as soon as I hear back from him and we iron out all the legalese,
Okay,
I'll move forward with that.
perfect. Good deal.
That motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the
We don't have
meeting.
anything else, do we?
Go ahead.
I snuck in. I got here just a little bit late, so I apologize. I just had 2 things. Would that be okay?
Sure.
Okay. The first one is Pat Runyon came over and caught me and was just getting my crawl about over by his house. I'm assuming that it's all about him trying to find something to offset because of his animals. That's just kind of, his pigs, because he had to get rid of them. So I just think he's kind of grousing around, but he was saying that he's got something going on with the grade of the road, where it's actually in front of his house on Union, where, of course, everything's going to the river anyways, but he's saying that it's going over into his property, and it's eroding over and causing erosion on his side of the property. But he does actually have a ditch right there that it does go into. He had mentioned that, Eric, he had talked to you a couple of times, and that you had asked him to give him a video and to do a few things, and he didn't seem to get anywhere. And so he brought it to my attention, and actually he wasn't very nice. He was kind of demanding that I do something with it, and I almost didn't, but I thought, well, I'll come and bring it to the attention, and I don't know.
I know when Jerry Kokenberg was alive, he did bring it to my attention that he said, boy, it could come down there like a roaring river, because they are about the pinnacle of, that's
Yeah,
why-
when you get
It's
down
steady.
there, you're
It's
getting everybody's
It's
water.
coming down hard
Yeah.
and it's coming down fast. I get it, because Jerry, when he was still alive, said the same thing, that, he was like, how can I control this? Because it does get into my yard a little bit and starts chewing it out. And he's got a pretty good swell, and I'm like, whoa, what?
Well,
So
see, I
anyway.
think Jerry's in a little bit better.
He's
stage
higher.
because he's
Yeah,
higher.
yeah.
But with
But he
Pat,
said it was
he's
still-
actually under the road. And
Yeah.
So he's saying that it's literally coming over the road and over the hill there. But unless we put a curb there or something, I don't know what can be done.
He catches two streets. Pat
Yeah.
actually catches Union also. So with the water coming from both streets, it's going two directions. Of course, everybody knows Union Street, you got the railroad tracks and the
Right.
railroad bed.
Right.
It pitches to that one side because of course you can't pitch that road to the
Back to the
tracks.
railroad
Right,
tracks, yeah.
And then the street in front, has a crown in the center and pitches both ways. So in a large rain event, you are going to have a ton of water coming down that street because of course he's kind of the end of the line for everybody that would be to the east of
Mhm.
town.
And he's probably a slab house that's got
Yeah,
smashed
his-
right on the ground,
His
No.
concern was always like the little makeshift bridge that he has in front of his property washing out. Well, I mean, there's short of, if we want to go down there and spend $300,000 and put in curbs and gutters, that's what would have to happen to resolve his situation. We would also have to put curbs and gutters on the Union Street side. I don't really know what he wants. If he wants a concrete ditch, a concrete apron, and all the above.
It may end up like I told the other gentleman the other day, we may be able to do something about it, but it may not be pretty at this point in time.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I think there's reasonable, and then there's, hey, this is out of my control. It's beyond what I can, and I do sympathize with people that, when they're in a bad situation, it's pretty rough, and that might
Could this be a similar situation to the one we talked about the other day where we could just take some asphalt down there and build up a
Yeah, we
little bit of a
may,
berm?
like right there at the ditch head, because he's got a ditch head that daylights right there at the edge of his property on Union Street. So we could try to put an asphalt berm there, depending on what the flow of water is. I mean, of course, nobody wants a 1 foot asphalt berm right there because now you cause another problem. Somebody goes to park in front, you're gonna be tripping over a 1 foot area there in elevation. He's honestly, his property is just in a low zone. So I mean, it's pretty hard to take care of. And I'm sure that property has been that way for 50 years. And I'm not saying that there's nothing that we can do. It's just, he has to realize the property that he purchased and that he lives in, it's been a reoccurring thing. And it would be different if we were redoing the street because we could throw in with community crossings, putting in some curbing, some guttering for that.
Does everything want to go down to Monroe Street, down to the river? So does everything want to funnel down Monroe Street,
Yep, everything.
going west?
Exactly.
Okay. And there's no way to box curb that or put a roll curb and deflect that and kind of encourage it back down towards Monroe? I mean, I don't.
I mean, you can do it right there at that radius, and the cheapest thing to do, the most economical thing to do is trial and error. Would be the same thing that we did at Greg Watkins's place when
Yeah.
he lived up there behind
Mhm.
Clark West. Would be to basically bring in asphalt, make a berm, see what it does.
Right.
In that particular situation, I think on a good hard rain event, he's still going to have water because now what's going to happen is there's going to be so much water that's going to be rushing down his ditch. It's not necessarily going to be a street issue as it is the volume of water coming down that
Right.
ditch.
So I think, maybe on a hard rain, go down and flag out, see where the troubled area is. And
And he sent me a video before, but the video doesn't have any detail of where the water was coming from.
right.
So it wasn't a good enough video to say, hey, it's all coming off of Union Street or, it's coming over the adjoining street.
Mhm.
It was more his focus on like the bridge area that he used to have like a wooden bridge that kind of walked by there and in a big rain event. Of course, that wooden bridge would float up and move down,
Mhm.
6 or 8 inches.
I think whatever you do is a good faith effort,
Yes.
moving forward. If you do nothing, then you've done nothing. But if you do something, you've made a good faith effort at least trying, as you said,
Yeah.
trial and error to rectify the situation.
Yeah, maybe diagnose it on the next hard rain, see, hey, kind of get a good idea where it's
And-
starting and where it wants to go, and
Yes.
if we do something here, maybe we can get it to funnel here and
And we have put some Duraburn up there on the Union Street side to see, because he was having problems with that ditch head like eroding, coming back this way. So we
Right.
went up there one time with some larger Duraburn and
Mhm.
placed it there to, try to help that problem. Now, whether, he sees us when we're doing that or not is one thing, but we've made a couple efforts,
Sure.
to try to help the situation. But yeah, we'll try asphalt. And we've got a couple places that we're gonna try and see if it helps. And
Eric, I'm not trying to make more work for you, believe me, he was hot enough under the collar that I felt like, it's like.
yeah, and that's the way it is every time we get a heavy rain.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah,
I mean, Attica's awesome as far as shedding water, but
Yeah.
along
Yeah.
the way, there's some
Yeah.
casualties. I mean, there's going to
Yeah,
be, right?
we don't
There's
have
gonna be.
flood events
Yeah.
in Attica because the water does run off, but it does run off.
Yeah, they do, in a hurry.
Did you have something else?
Yeah, I did have one other quick thing, but so I'll report back to Pat that you were gonna get in contact with him, or one of your guys will?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
what we'll do, and there won't be any rhyme or reason to it. Once this rain gets out of the system, we've got a lot of patching to do around town. So how it'll take place, and I can't give anybody a specific date, because we used to be able just to go to the Milestone plant, load up our hot box, and that's not the way it works anymore. Now you've got to call in advance and find out when they'll be set to take on smaller stuff instead of the big asphalt trucks.
Okay.
So we called down there a couple times over the last month, and they were like, no, today we've got a big job. We can't cater to a 2-ton hot patch machine. So now we've got to get confirmation from them, and they may tell us tomorrow we'll have stuff ready for you at 10 a.m.
Okay, well, thank you, I appreciate you addressing it, and I'll pass on to Pat.
Okay.
The second thing is a lot easier. So my son works with Gaylor Electric, and he's on that big Amazon plant up in St. Joe County, and they had a temporary parking lot up there, and it was only for a year, and they had 10 25-foot light poles, LED light poles, and he said that I could have them. And so I was thinking that I would go ahead and try to put them around the brewery, but I don't think I need all of them. And
The
so
pickleball people are looking for light poles to put down around the new pickleball courts.
Oh, they are.
Yeah,
In the park.
yeah.
Moving.
They were asking the Attica Rec if they could have the ones from over at the pool if they weren't going to use them. And those aren't LEDs. Those are multi-vapor lamps that if I'm paying the light bill down there, I'm not going to pay for those. So if we can get
How many would
LED
you need down there?
What, I think it was 6.
4 to 6,
Yeah, 4 to 6, that'd be okay, because I think that's what I was actually selfishly asking for at least part of it for the brewery, just to kind of, I don't know what I'm gonna do there, but at least put lights up on the,
they
around it.
would love that.
Okay, because I know that these guys are about $2,000 or more a piece, and they've only been used for a year, so.
Yeah,
So-
I was just down there at the pool today and looking that situation over where they're wanting to get part of the property down there and have it surveyed and everything. And I looked at the lighting situation and those lights that are over at the pool, some of those were original lights when the pool was put in. And I think they've been updated, some of them to multi-vapor lamps,
Okay,
either mercury vapor or multi-vapor, I don't know which. But anyway, if I'm paying for a light bill down there, it's going to be LED lights.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
think
much-
some of them have 2 heads on them, and some of them have 1 head.
That'd be wonderful
Yeah,
because
I
the
know
two
that.
heads ones could go in between the two
Right,
cords
right,
and catch this way,
right.
and the ones that have singles could go out on
On
the corners.
yeah.
So I think that'd
They're
be
highly
wonderful.
efficient with electricity, these LEDs.
Yeah.
Man, they'll save you a lot of money.
Okay, well,
Yeah, so-
I've already confirmed that I'm getting them, I just don't know when. So they're trying to take down this temporary parking lot, and they just gotta get rid of them, so I gotta get a trailer up there, get it loaded and bring it back, so. But do I have to do anything in particular for, my project? Is there anything special for that lighting?
Is there any ordinances that would impede on a neighbor
There
with
are
too
some-
bright of lights or anything?
Yeah, there are some ordinances regarding, what do they call that?
Light projection.
Yeah, I forget, there's a name for that, but if your light goes in over into the neighbor's property, there's some ordinance language against that.
Okay,
I
so,
mean, you wouldn't want to make that look like a landing strip down there,
No,
obviously,
that's not
with neighbors down there.
right, yeah. All the neighbors, though, I own two of the properties that are adjacent to it, and then there's McDonald's, so.
Yeah,
I
so-
saw, really, I just didn't know if I had to try to get a permit for that, or do anything like that, or,
No permit that I'm
No, I
aware
don't
of that
know
would
of any.
pertain to the lighting.
okay, all right. Yeah, so I guess, who should I talk to then about those lights just work with you, Larry, or?
That's fine, or any of those board members on Attica Rec. Denise Routson is a good, I think she's heading up that group. She's the one that went up the pool with me today and looked at that, so.
No, I did-
Probably the pool people aren't really the ones you gotta talk to, though. It's the,
Cardboard, wouldn't it?
no, it's the
Attica Recreation?
The pickleball.
pickleball people.
Oh, okay, okay.
So that doesn't
But
fight
it would-
underneath park
It
It would
board?
be
does,
park
it
board,
does. It'd be
yeah.
park board,
I would check.
but they're actively out looking for lights. The pickleball folks are.
Well,
That's
tell me
Dave- you know,
if they can-
Dave
if they can
Clark
Hold
and-
off, I think it's imminent within like a month, within a month I'll have.
And I
it.
can let them know that you've got a line on some.
And I have the specs and everything, so I can send it over to you if you want forward.
I think
The other
that'd
thing I
be
was gonna
great.
mention is I talked to Eli French, and I've got a bunch of lockers that I got out of that Glen Ellen, country club in West Lafayette. And, it was a country club, they just decided they weren't gonna do it anymore, and I got those things for next to nothing. Matter of fact, there's so many of them, I have them in the semi-trailers at the brewery, and, I mentioned to Eli, if they need new lockers for that, Attica Recreation, I've got a bunch of them. And I told him, and I haven't heard anything back, so.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
when I talk a bunch, I mean, I got a 53-foot.
I can mention that to
Yeah.
Denise, when
I
they.
mean, I'm sure they don't have anywhere to put them right now, but, it's like.
Yeah,
So anyways, sorry, didn't mean to take.
no,
I know you guys are.
that's some
for a
good
half
news.
hour.
Yeah, that's some good news. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Now do we have a motion to adjourn?
You made a motion, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Oh.
I was gonna ask you, I was talking to Larry about this.